This is the Enrichment Sports Source with your host, John Pennington.
Good Sunday morning and welcome into the Enrichment Sports Source. And for the first time in many football Sundays, we actually mean it. Good Sunday morning. Tennessee with a big upset win yesterday. We've thrown out our normal format. We're just going to have a little fun here on the show today. Hope you'll stick with us. Let's just get right into this thing because it is so jam-packed. First segment, as always, brought to you by our great friends at Enrichment Federal Credit Union, the folks who bring you this show each and every week. If you want truly free checking, folks, check with Enrichment. No monthly fees, no per item fees, no minimum balance, unlimited transactions, unlimited access, free debit card, free home banking with bill payment, and the first box of checks, it's always free too. Truly free checking from Enrichment Federal Credit Union. I can't say thanks enough. If you enjoy this show, and the ratings say you do, if you enjoy this show each and every week, get out to Enrichment and let them know that you appreciate them for bringing you this thing week in, week out, all year long. We have a tremendous show today. Here's who's coming up a little bit later. Chuck Cavallera, Sterling Hinton, Will Overstreet, Bobby Scott, Mike Strange, and just a few pre-show notes for you here to follow what we're doing. Tennessee snapped a streak yesterday of 19 consecutive losses to ranked foes. Huge win. 23-21 over Steve Spurrier. If you're going to beat anybody, Vol fans love beating him. 200 former Vols, Vol lettermen, were back for the game yesterday doing the Vol walk, running through the tee. It was really special for them. Butch Jones gets the signature win. I know a lot of people are playing a drinking game today, and that's another shot. Signature win. That's one of the keys. We're shaking up our show format a little bit. We're going to talk about 11 topics. 11 topics. We got a few surprises. Why 11 topics? Well, that's in honor of South Carolina's ranking before yesterday. They were number 11. So, all right. Want to welcome in the guys. Jimmy Himes from the Sports Animal 990. Bob Hodge, freelance contributor to the Knoxville News Sentinel. David Ligon, Shazon Bradley, former Vols, who came in here today a lot happier than you have in recent weeks. So
yes, we did.
It's our upset special show. And as you can see, we've even got the champagne chilled. It's here on the set. Thanks to the folks at On the Rocks Wine and Liquor out in Powell. We're going to be saving that for later in the show. You hear that, Chuck?
Yeah.
So, okay. Let's get right into this thing. We're going to have 11 topics on the upset special. Topic number 1. Let's start with how it ended. Michael Palardy's game-winning field goal. And my question for you guys, and I want you to be honest, after all that Tennessee's been through, after all the ghosts and skeletons that were walking around that building when he lined that thing up, how many of you had a Charlie Brown fear that bad snap, shanked, kicked the holder's hand? How many of you thought, oh gosh, something could go wrong here?
I was looking for Terrence Cody.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought of too.
I wondered a little bit because I'm thinking, could Clowney jump up and block this? So many bad things have happened in Tennessee in moments like that. So there was a little bit of a concern, and it wasn't just from some people watching. The Tennessee football players, some of them decided not to watch. They didn't want to look. They wanted to listen to the crowd noise to tell them whether it was good or not. So there were some anxious moments with that, but certainly Palardy making it, the eruption of the crowd told them what had happened. But yeah, I think there were some butterflies with a lot of folks.
Well, I had butterflies because I thought, run it to the middle of the field, go down. You're going to have plenty of time to spike it,
Yeah.
and who knows what Palardy likes? Maybe he loves kicking from that side. But one of the things that bothered me was, okay, be straight ahead, but now you've got what looked like a bad angle. Obviously, it wasn't. But that was part of my second guessing is why didn't they do that?
Well, I agree with that. Yeah. Palardy said it doesn't matter. I did ask him afterward, do you prefer particular? He said, from that close, I don't care. But I was like Bob. I thought, center that thing up, man.
You may not care, but I'd try and get that as close to an extra point as I could.
Yeah,
Put that thing in the middle.
Exactly.
In his previous kick that he misses is moving one way or the other. So if you at least get it to the middle of the field and it's going to do that again, there's a little bit of space there where it's still going to go through the upright. And hey, who knows, if you run the ball right there, maybe you score.
The thing about Palardy is what a tremendous moment for one kid who may best embody the transformation you're seeing from the Dooley coach teams to the Butch Jones coach team. I mean, you could make a case that he's one of the 2 or 3 MVPs of this team in the first half of the season, something I know non-kickers don't like to talk about, but I thought it was a great moment for a kid who's really turned things around this year.
Definitely, but think about him. He's kind of like a left-handed golfer. His legs are on backwards, so it's a little bit awkward to see that left foot come out. But they're coached well. Tennessee has a real coach now, and I never thought for a second that the snap would mess up, nor would he miss that kick. it was just like, wow, it's really going to happen.
David, what were your thoughts as that one went through the uprights?
Just elation. I was excited, happy for those guys to, get that big win. So many of them worked so hard for so many years to have those crazy things occur to where they lost those games. And that was a taste for them of what so many guys before them, and when Tennessee teams were winning so many games that we felt all the time. And just want them to continue that success and, feel that feeling and say, okay, we like this a lot. We want to keep working to get that going forward.
Jimmy, I need to do this quick, but last night, Fuad Reveiz was on your 990 radio show, Football Finals. Yeah. He was talking about Palardy and his relationship with the previous coach, Derek Dooley, when Palardy was struggling.
Yeah, he said that that there were times when Palardy would go out to kick a field goal and Dooley would say, now don't mess this one up again. That was his message to him. I could tell you.
It's not the word mess.
Yeah, something different. I'm sure you tell a free throw shooter, now don't go miss this free throw as you're fixing it. But that relationship was not very good at all. And Butch Jones, they talk about visualize that game winner. There's such a different mindset with that.
Next one up. This is our upset special number 2, topic number 2, Marquez North's memorable day. And you've seen it on the cover of the Knoxville News Sentinel today. That great catch. I'll tell you what, can we grab that on 4? I'll hold that up for you if you can get. There you go. Just a tremendous catch. Bob was kind enough to remind me that it looked a lot like David Tyree's catch from the Super Bowl. Thanks, Bob. Tremendous catch. He also had another great catch, twisting and going up for the ball. Thoughts on Marquez North? He's still got some drops. Had one yesterday, but boy, for a raw recruit, right out the high school fields, he's looking pretty good.
I think we need to take the word freshman off his name and just call him A-Man.
He's ready? Guys?
Well, I was just thinking what he's given Whirly is that guy that he's covered, I'm going to throw it anyway. And sometimes it doesn't work out well, but with the catches he made, the memorable catch he made against Georgia, he's showing to be reliable, but he's also able to get up and get over the guys covering him. So he's sort of, I don't want to compare him to Randy Moss, obviously, but you've got that guy, he's covered, but by golly, that's where I'm going to go because I'm going to let him make a play for me.
I thought it was the kind of thing you would do with Justin Hunter.
Yeah.
When you would throw it up. The thing about North, too, to remember is that he played a lot of quarterback and a lot of running back in high school. He was not a 4-year receiver in high school like a Justin Hunter. So he's still, I think, learning the position a little bit. I think his upside is really high.
Let me start with you guys on this topic number 3, if we could. We have upset special topic number 3. Butch Jones punts with 3:16 to play. He had all 3 timeouts. He wound up getting the ball back, trusted his defense, wound up getting the ball back with 2:48 to go at his own 35. Did either of you have an issue with that? A lot of fans said go for it. Did either of you have a feel on punting it?
Well, as an offensive lineman, you want to go for it every single time. So I wanted to go for it, but that's why you don't let emotion come into game-making decisions. So it was the right call. Trust your defense. You have the timeouts, but it could have been 4th and 15, and I wanted to go for it. So, that just shows why players aren't making the decisions over the course of a game. You're emotionally into it, and your rationality is compromised.
At first, I thought it was a bad decision, but I had forgotten that Tennessee has gone out and hired himself a real coach.
You can't stress that enough, can you?
And yesterday, he out-coached Barry. Bottom line, he managed the clock, and he out-coached him. That's what happened.
Guys, the idea, Bob, you and I have talked about this before, just watching games with our teams. I didn't have a problem with it because you're extending the game. If you go for it right there and you don't get it, even if you hold them, they're punting you back to your 20 and you got to go the whole way with no timeouts.
You're still going to have to burn your timeouts in that situation. You're going to have a longer field. And plus you've just given the other team some momentum because you didn't make it on 4th down. So I thought it was a good choice. We actually had a little up in XX1. There was quite the little debate going on up there too as this was happening.
Well, I liked it for 2 reasons. One, you had 3 timeouts left. The other one was they had their backup quarterback in.
He played one play so far.
And so how courageous was Spurrier going to be to try to throw the football back there with him? And he's not going to beat you with his legs like a Connor Shaw. So I thought it was a good decision.
Well, if you put him in that position, he might have used 2 or 3 more timeouts. We'll talk about that when we come back. More topics. We got a lot to come on this show. Chuck, Mike, Sterling, Bobby, Will Overstreet with us. Plenty more. Come on back on the Enrichment Sports Source.